In the summer of 2023, as we were still catching news about the Iron Claw and its eventual December release, I caught wind of a movie in production called Queen of the Ring. Like the Iron Claw, it was centered on the world of professional wrestling. Unlike the Iron Claw, with the central character of Kevin Von Erich, played by Zac Efron, Queen of the Ring would take audiences back before the great majority of us were born. Both Charlotte Flair and Liv Morgan were cast for parts in the movie, but both had to drop out. Morgan had a shoulder injury, and Flair already had scheduling conflicts before suffering a severe knee injury that still has her out of action. While more than suitable replacements were cast for Flair and Morgan and production continued, I was having trouble finding much on the movie. Eventually, the Iron Claw release date was announced, and I dove into the Bruiser Brody and David Von Erich world-class bios, and I kind of forgot about Queen of the Ring. I had planned on trying to put together a video, and had a couple of related things in a folder that I happened to stumble across recently. With Queen of the Ring digging its way out of my subconscious, I thought I'd take a look around and see what happened to the project. Lo and behold, it will be out for wide release in theaters this March. Queen of the Ring is the story of Mildred Burke, an American pro wrestler who debuted in the 1930s when women's wrestling wasn't even legal in some states. To put things into some historical perspective, when Burke made her professional wrestling debut, it had been just over a decade since women were given the right to vote in the United States. Burke is regarded as one of the toughest and strongest women ever to step into a wrestling ring, especially at a time that kicks were not always accompanied with leg slaps and punches were not always pulled. Burke even faced off against men in the ring in shoot matches and only had one recorded loss. Born Mildred Bliss Yowker in Coffeyville, Kansas on August 5, 1915, Burke's journey into pro wrestling started simply enough when her fiancé took her to a wrestling card in Kansas City when she was 18 years old. She was immediately hooked and set her sights on becoming a pro wrestler. A local promoter named Billy Wolf was training women wrestlers but showed no interest when Burke approached him about training her. After she body slammed the man Wolf gave the task of getting rid of her, Wolf changed his mind. I won't go too in-depth on the relationship between Burke and Wolf. I'll leave that for the movie to tell you. I will say it wasn't long before Burke's fiancée was out of the picture, and Burke and Wolf were married. To call their marriage tumultuous would be an understatement. In the ring, it would take just a couple of years for Burke to rise to the top of women's wrestling, defeating Clara Mortensen for the Women's World Championship in 1937. Over the next 16 years, Burke entered multiple feuds, defending the title against the likes of Gladys Gillum, Elvira Snodgrass, and Mae Young. In 1950, the Women's World Championship was officially recognized and regulated by the National Wrestling Alliance, which is where things started falling apart for Burke. I don't want to give too much away for people that want to see it play out in the movie, but her strained relationship with husband Billy Wolf led to divorce, and eventually being backed into a corner to buy Wolf's half of their now co-owned wrestling promotion for $30,000. Part of the problem was women were not allowed to attend NWA conferences in the 1950s, along with Wolf openly violating terms of their divorce settlement by opening another promotion. With lines of comparison that can be drawn to both Buddy Rogers being recognized as the first WWF champion and to the Montreal Screwjob, where Vince McMahon orchestrated a double cross on Bret Hart, the problems Burke faced came to a head in 1954. Burke defended her title against June Byers, who also happened to be married to Billy Wolf's son from his first marriage. As you might expect, at a time it wasn't as simple as a promotion deciding to take the belt off a champion, the match turned into a shoot, or a real fight if you prefer. The best 2 out of 3 falls match actually ended with no finish. Burke left the ring thinking her championship was still safe, but the next day, newspapers were reporting Byers defeated Burke for the title. The NWA recognized Byers as the new champion, while Burke continued to bill herself as the Women's World Champion. Perhaps seeing where things were going, Burke founded the Women's World Wrestling Association in the early 1950s. After the NWA took her championship, she declared herself the first WWWA World Champion and retired as champion in 1956. In the movie, Mildred Burke is played by Emily Bett Rickards, who you may recognize as playing Felicity Smoke in various DC television series, most notably Arrow. Josh Lucas plays Billy Wolf, You might recognize Lucas from a variety of TV shows and movies, including playing a young John Dutton on Yellowstone. Francesca Eastwood plays Mae Young. Eastwood played Madrid in the 2021 film Old. Marie Evgeropoulos, I probably butchered that name, plays Elvira Snodgrass. Marie plays Octavia Blake on The 100. Deborah Ann Wall plays Gladys Gillum. Deborah played Jessica Hamby on True Blood, among other roles. Kaylee Farmer plays June Byers, the role originally filled by Charlotte Flair. You probably know Kaylee better as Camille, a former NWA Women's World Champion and current AEW star. She also happens to be married to current NWA World Champion Tom Latimer. James E. Coronet plays the NWA Commissioner. Of course, he is a former manager and commentator and now inspires old men like me to yell at wrestling clouds on the Jim Cornette Experience podcast. Tony Rossel plays Clara Mortensen, the role originally filled by Liv Morgan. Tony is better known as three-time AEW Women's World Champion Tony Storm. Trinity Fatu plays Ethel Johnson. Trinity is better known as WWE superstar Naomi, a two-time WWE SmackDown Women's Champion. Britt Baker plays Debbie Nichols. Britt is a former AEW Women's Champion as Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and really did graduate from the University of Pittsburgh School of Dental Medicine. Of course, there are a lot of other big and small roles, and overall the cast looks incredible. While it's fair to say the Iron Claw was met with some mixed reviews from wrestling fans, the mere existence of the movie seems to have spurred interest in wrestling biopics. Queen of the Ring is only the most recent, with biopics on Ric Flair and Kurt Angle also in the works. It begs the question, who could be next? Dino Bravo, Bruiser Brody, Gino Hernandez, Chris Adams, Christine Jarrett. That's just a handful of names that could make incredible stories for movies. For now, get ready to take a trip back in wrestling time for a story that doesn't just give a glimpse of the golden age of wrestling, but a look at society itself and the road that was paved for today's biggest stars in women's wrestling. Queen of the Ring premiered at Newport Beach Film Festival in October 2024 and is set for wide release on March 7th, 2025.